Hello everybody, this is Sahil Solanki from IIM Ranchi and welcome back to Kudostudy. So here I am at the academic block. It's midnight and because our life became hectic when we came to second year and all of our weekends, 3-day weekends are now over. So life at IIM Ranchi is not that easy, guys. We have Bipasha Tiwari with us. We were shooting her podcast and now because opportunity hai, so I called her for shooting a video for Kudostudy and she agreed without money. So let's start. You must have seen Bipasha in one of the round tables, that is round table 1. She is the topper of her batch and
That's not true.
that is, what is your CGPA though?
I don't know.
So she has this YouTube channel. She is a very good speaker. She is one of the best people I have met ever in my life, and the one good thing is she changes her clothes like she changes her college, and this time she stayed at IIM Ranchi although she left NID, which is the top institute of India in terms of designing and economics from BU, I guess. Yeah. So hi Bipasha.
Hi Sahil. Thank you so much. That was a very flattering introduction. Sahil is a really good friend, and although he said that I'm not being paid, but my opinions might be slightly biased because he is such a good friend. And yes, it is midnight. We have a quiz due tomorrow, and we're sitting here.
You don't have to remind me about that. Okay,
Yes.
it doesn't matter because I'm not studying anyways.
Don't be like Sahil.
I studied, yaar. Chalo, let's start. So, how did you came to know about IP?
Okay, so this tale is as old as time, or it feels like it's as old as time. But I came to know about IPMAT when I was sitting in a classroom in like 11th grade. So until about 10th or even like almost the end of the 11th, I was pretty sure that I was going to pursue design. Art has been a very, very huge part of my life. I have loved art, and naturally, like whenever discussions come up, and like around 9th, 8th को जब like पापा बैठ करके बोलते हैं ना, अच्छा बेटा क्या करने की सोच रहे हो, and ऐसे we all sat down, all my parents and I, and we decided that hey, design makes a lot of sense for me. So the natural thing was go ahead and apply to design institutes, and that was the whole plan. I was going to coaching. I was like I've been making art for like a very long time, so that is not something I'm very worried about. And along with that, my parents have always advocated for me to be creative, and they've enabled me to do that. So ठीक है, design हो रहा था, and then 11th में ऐसे अचानक से तूफान आया. And we had a lot of discussions at home that, hey, like there are these other sort of skill sets that I possess. Like I really like talking to people. I like talking in general, which is why Vartalap, my channel, exists. Links will be in the description. So that, and then along with that, I also realized that I liked organizing things, like not just in terms of ऐसे चीजें organize करके रख दी. That also I like, but organizing events and managing people and talking to people and deciding what's the best thing to do, how do we get to that, because so the school that I come from is really, really huge. I come from a DPS, and our school was notoriously known as a factory because that is how big our school is. So we had a lot of events, and I had the opportunity to not just host those events and give my voice over for a certain plays, but also help conceptualize those plays, to get people to audition for those plays, manage the people, manage resources. And that made me realize that, hey, like design is great and all, but maybe management is my calling. And after a lot of very heated discussions at home, we finally came to the conclusion that management karna is a good idea. And fortunately, one of my mother's friend's daughter was actually pursuing IPMAT. She was in IIM Indore at that point of time, and we had a little bit of discussion, and then I realized that hey, this is actually a great opportunity because we know how competitive. So one big reason for IPMAT was because India is exceptionally competitive, and although you can make sure that you put in your best effort and you give it your all, but sometimes life is not fair, and there is nothing you can do about it. So what you can do is make sure you're in the safest, best position, which is why a lot of people chose IPMAT, why a lot of people choose IPMAT. One of the contributing reasons to why I chose IPMAT. Along with that, I am a student of humanities. So I had humanities with math in 11th and 12th, and it became I realized very quickly that I don't like studying subjects that are in these, like neat, tiny little boxes. Only science, yeah, only humanities, only commerce. The subjects that I had allowed me to thoda sa commerce ka angle through economics, humanities because humanities was my stream, so I had political science and history, and math, which is I don't want to say it, but a little bit of the science angle to things. So I realized that I like this sort of interdisciplinary form of learning, and IPM is a great course for that. At that point of time, Ranchi did not exist. I think Rohtak existed, and Bodh Gaya and Jammu, to we don't even need to say. So I quickly realized that, hey, this course is designed for somebody like me. And I was like, ठीक है भाई, prep शुरू करनी है अब. And I signed up for a coaching. I was fortunately not the COVID batch, so I actually got to go to offline coaching. And there's a different vibe of offline coaching. सब ऐसे बैठ करके हम solve कर रहे हैं. अच्छा ये कैसे हैं, ये वो कैसे. Anyways, so I gave my first attempt in 2020. So the pandemic had hit, and then you also gave your first attempt in 2020.
No, I did not give any attempt. I just appeared for 2021. I didn't knew about IPMAT.
So I gave my 2020 attempt, and that was after like the exam had been postponed so many times. By the time I gave my IPM attempt, I had already gotten into the National Institute of Design, Haryana. And the way things were working out, I was like, okay, I'll go to NID if in case things don't work out. But in my head, I was just like, nahi bhai, बहन तेरे भाई ने तो बहुत preparation की है, हो जाएगा हमारा. And I was like, yes, let's do this. And unfortunately, I was not able to make it the first time around because एक section where the cutoff was left by just a very small margin, and there was nothing that I could do about it.
Sectional cutoffs are pain in your head.
Yes, of course, they give me headaches, but it's okay. That made me realize a lot of things, and then I decided that, hey, the best option for me right now is to go ahead and study design in the National Institute of Design. A lot of other things happened, which I want to sort of fast forward through. I left the National Institute of Design, Haryana, Kurukshetra, and I went to DU, and I studied economics honors for a while. And then I gave IPMAT again in 2021. I did not make it to Indore again, and that is partly because of errors in my preparation, not being able to manage my time along with college. And that happened, and then I didn't make it to Indore. I was devastated again, and I was weighing my options. And one of my options was IIM Ranchi. So I was just like, you know what? Let's give SAT. IPMAT score is probably not that great. Let's give SAT and let's try to get into Ranchi. And I gave SAT, and now I'm here. And this is, as Sahil said, the first college that I've stayed at for longer than a year. I have switched around 3 colleges. He's right, I switch colleges more than I switch clothes, but I'm planning to stay here for now.
Okay. By the way, Bipasha is a very, very, very good artist. She paints she has a very different and a very unique style of painting. I'll attach the Instagram link of hers. You can go and visit the profile.
Instagram.
Yeah, the Instagram profile. Okay, coming to the next question. You talked about getting into IIM Ranchi and you were something different before. So, I'll tell you something. When Bipasha first came to the meet, she was a girl, her personality is like that. That first time you see her, you'll be like, I want to become like her. Still, I want to become like her. But now as we are friends, we know the other parts too. But we wanted to talk to her. We wanted कि अरे यार इसके जैसा कुछ करना है. She painted, she had this good academics, she left NID, she had this phenomenal communication skills, everything. From childhood, you had all these skills or you built through times?
Okay, so obviously I did not. And as you can probably tell, Rome was not built in a day. I was actually a very, very shy person initially in my childhood. But the way that, and all thanks to my parents and their parenting, they sort of incentivized me to get out of my comfort zone and try these things. जैसे अरे जाकर के गार्ड भैया से बात करके आओ, उनसे कुछ पूछो. अरे so we really like food in our family and we go to a lot of restaurants. So अच्छा जाकर के वेटर से पूछो, ये पूछ के आओ, या अच्छा चलो जाओ किचन के अंदर जाओ, शेफ से कुछ पूछ के आओ. Because like naturally kids are curious and they ask their parents. My parents are just like, जाकर के पूछो, तुम्हें जानना है. And that sort of created these वो कि अच्छा ठीक है, कुछ पूछना है, कुछ जानना है, तो go and ask people. And I would really say that the Bipasha that you see today, who is able to communicate as she is, really blossomed or bloomed in the online era, which is a different, like, you wouldn't hear a lot of people say this, but there is no fear of failure, or more than that, like, you can't really embarrass yourself as much when it comes to online interactions. Plus, you're in your comfort zone. So, because first of all, I had amazing peers at NID, and secondly, because it was online, so I got to interact with these people in a very comfortable but also open environment. So I got to talk to them, and that is when I realized that, hey, I can talk to people in a much better manner. So that was when I had the huge personality shift. Along with that, I think failure teaches you a lot about life. And although looking at it now, I wouldn't consider me not getting into IIM Indore a failure. I think it was a huge learning point and a huge lesson for me instead. But that sort of created the Bipasha who is not really afraid of talking to people, or just in general being like, acha theek hai, worst comes to worst, kya hoga? They'll laugh at you, they won't understand what you're saying, or they'll ignore you. Bas. And as to the creative side, I mean, every skill you have to build it over time. Like, you understand, when you started your own YouTube channel, you didn't know anything. I remember we used to have conversations ki,
with software to use.
With software to use. Acha sun video mein aise kar thoda, ye kar. And we used to have very open conversations. I was lucky enough that I used to have these conversations in my family and also my peers at NID. So I started my channel in the May of 2020, but my channel fully blossomed after I got into NID. And I had peers who would say, hey, this is off, that is wrong, you should try this. There were people who knew. So if one advice I could give to anybody is, try to keep people around you who are good at things that you want to be good at. That way, once you're on your journey, you can take their help. And there is so much more you can get out of other people's experiences. Like, you can avoid so many mistakes, which I was fortunate to avoid as a result of having access to peers. So that is pretty much how it happened.
One thing about Bipasha is she is very straightforward. So as she said, your peer used to speak directly to you ki improve this. Some people find it rude, and they have that perspective for a person. So if you're not very much diplomatic, or you're not very much you're very much straightforward, people find you rude. True. That is not rude actually, that is something else. It's being good to you, that telling you what on your face ki okay, so you do this, you did this is wrong. That is good. But people find it wrong. Still, you are able to connect with people. And do you think that is a bad side of yours which you want to improve, or is it something which you are proud about?
Okay, so there are two ways of looking at it. There is one way of generally as a person, how you can view this, and also as a manager. Because we're both future managers, or at least in some uske aas-paas ka kuch. Yeah, we want to become, we hopefully will become, touch wood. But the way that I see it is that being straightforward saves you a lot of time in life. So you don't have to beat around the bush and tell somebody some lie and then tell somebody else some other lie. It's just you say it the way it is and people either accept you as you are or they don't. And yes, you have to deal with that, people not accepting you as a straightforward person. It's a price that I think I'm willing to pay, because at the end of the day it saves a lot of time, effort and everything else. Like it's a way of, if I may, filtering out people from your life. Because if somebody can't stand the truth, then like how far ahead can you get in your friendship relationship with them? And the second aspect is the managerial aspect. So managers can't be this straightforward.
You can never be an HR.
Okay, as you say. But in the corporate world, or maybe as a manager, you can't be this straightforward. At least from what I have understood, realized from the experiences of the adults around me, you need to be a little bit more tactful, if not diplomatic, but a bit more tactful. And I think like nobody is their full self in all of their aspects of life. So maybe when I finally join the workforce, I will have to be a little bit more cautious about the way I say things, because I can't, like, I know it's my friend over here, I know this is Sahil, I can say, "Arey nahi yaar, wo video achhi nahi thi," or be very frank. But if, let's say, Sahil and I were working in an organization and Sahil is not my really good friend, I would have to be like, "Hey Sahil, like the video is good, but I think this is something you can improve on," or "Hey, do you think this is something that you can improve on?" So although I'm saying this same thing, but I'm just being a little bit more thoughtful about it, which is fair, honestly. That is something that I would have to cultivate. I am trying to actively cultivate, but it doesn't come into full use until a little while later.
That way you seem very approachable when you are very diplomatic, and that's, I think it's not a good thing. You need to be non-approachable at times. Anyways, moving on. How is your journey, if you want to describe this 1 year at IIM Ranchi?
Insightful. That would be the word, because I have learned so much about people, about things, about how the world works, about human interaction, and I've never left my hometown before. In terms of, I've stayed at the same place for a very long time, and I was pushed out of a very good city to Ranchi, which is it's not a metropolitan city, so there are
you city shaming?
No, I'm just saying that there are certain disadvantages and advantages to Ranchi as a city. Like
Understandable.
a very small example is like one day delivery is something that I was very used to. And like when I went back home for Diwali, this very funny instance happened that my mom said that ye saman chahiye. And I was just like, "Acha, theek hai, main le aati hu." She's like, "Nahi, koi baat nahi." Papa he ordered it via the phone, and within 30 minutes or maybe even lesser, there was a delivery boy at our door. And I was trying to relate it to Ranchi. I was just like, "Ma, we have to thoda sa plan whenever we're planning to order food on like online, because you need to make sure that okay, you order 1.5 to 2 hours before you're actually going to feel hungry, so that it's on time. Along with that, we have to manage our resources better. Ki acha theek hai, okay, meri ye cheez khatam hone wali, mera detergent khatam hone wala, I have to go to that store in these many days." And like I had to learn all of that. There are these choti insights. Along with that, I got to travel this year. We got to travel to IIM Indore for their fest. We both qualified. We are national finalists. So even through that journey, I realized a lot of things. I was just like, hey, maybe the world how you think it is, it's not like that. And I like that. I like that I'm getting to learn more things. And I'm grateful for this college, for these friends that I have to get to experience all of these things.
Okay, one last question. We are at IIM. We have that tag now. We have that brand now with us. What do you want to say to the aspirants or to the people who are unable to get into IIM? Because at that time when I did not get into Indore and I was not very much hopeful about Ranchi too, I was very upset. And many aspirants are upset until and unless they go to a good place and they move on. What do you want to speak to those people who don't have the tag?
Okay.
Do you think like the tag really matters? Will it change their life, or will not having that tag will not take them to their goals?
Okay, so any tag or anything is as useful as you make it, right? So if in case there are a lot of people who have in life achieved great things without the tag of an Ivy League institute, an IIT, an IIM, or a DU. So a tag is only worth as much as you use it, or anything for that matter is only worth as much as you make use of it or use it. And the same thing comes to the IIM tag, IIT tag. You've studied from some foreign university tag, Ivy League tag. So you can get a lot of things done in life even without these tags. A lot of people have, and I don't need to say that. I know if in case you haven't been able to make it, the one thing that I wish somebody would have said to me is that it's not the end of the world. And it's okay. Maybe you missed one opportunity. Make sure that you learn from this and don't make the same mistake. Because if you make a mistake once, it's a mistake. If you make a mistake twice, it's a choice. And make sure that you're not making that choice. You're actually actively working towards making yourself better, and maybe your own metric of what it means to be successful, or your own metric of what you actually want in life will change. That is okay. Take this as a learning experience. Abhi nahi hua, फिर से एक और बार try करो if you can. And if not, there is always the option of writing CAT and coming here again. And who knows, like if you put in your 100%, you're at IIM A, B, C. God damn it, you're not even here. You're somewhere outside in US or UK or wherever you want to go. But like, there are a lot of merits to the IIM, IIT, Ivy League, whatever tag. It opens doors for you. I think both of us have experienced that. It opens doors. People look at you differently. And it's a great conversation starter. A lot of us use it as conversation starters. And it also helps you relate to a lot of people. But with that being said, it is upon you to make whatever you want of your life. And no college can stop you or enable you to do that. It's your prerogative. That is it.
Okay, thank you so much. Guys, if you want to learn how to be in top 10 of relative grading, contact Bipasha.
That is not true. There are much more academically oriented and smarter people in our batch. The top 10 are all girls, by the way. We were told about
girls, you have very good handwriting and you'll definitely excel.
Yes.
If you want to learn art, talk to her. If you want to learn designing, talk to her. If you want to see good content, talk to her. If you want to see good podcasts, go to her channel. The link is given in the description below. The channel's name is Vartalap. If you have any doubt related to IPMAT, contact us. We are available. Visit our website, fill the free counseling form. We'll get back to you, or ping us on Telegram. The Telegram group link is given in the description below. Like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.
Also,
for the next time.
Wait, also, before Sahil signs off, I have been associated with Kudostudy since its inception. I've seen it come up to what it is now and what it will be in the future. One thing that I have noticed personally in from comparing it to my own IPMAT journey, from the IPMAT journey of a lot of other people, the way that he takes care of aspirants, or like just because of his personal experience, there is so much more that he can give to an aspirant, and he gives it his all. Like, I cannot stress on how sensitive he is to an aspirant's needs. And I think that is, if I had to vouch for one person, he would definitely be one of them. And especially when it comes to being sensitive to aspirants. I'm not just saying this because he is my good friend. I'm also saying this because if I was an aspirant, if I was at that crossroad, I would want somebody like Sahil and Sukriti here guiding me.
Thank you so much, guys. I don't have money to pay all these things, okay? She's saying this because she wants to say this.
Yes, yes.
India. Thank you so much and see ya.
Bye-bye.